So you have a passion and a desire to grow your online business, but there's one problem, and that is that currently you are in a situation where you're in a job that you don't like, or you are doing something for work or something that takes up a lot of time that is not related to growing your online business, and hence keeping you from growing it and setting yourself free. I'm going to talk about that in this video, and specifically I'm going to talk about what to do in the in-between. What do you do when you have a passion to set yourself free, to do the thing you love to do all the things that come with online business, the freedom, the fun, the family, the friends, and yet you're stuck? That's what we're going to talk about in this video. And before we do, we're going to drink some espresso from a whiskey glass. Cheers. Nothing like it. Great start to the video as always. My name is Lane. This is my channel. It's so awesome to have you joining me today. If you're new here, I like to help aspiring entrepreneurs start and grow online businesses. So if you're into that kind of thing, be sure to subscribe and grab my free guide to your first $500 online. It's at lanesebring.com/super simple. It's a super simple guide. We'll walk you through the exact steps that you need to take to build the kind of online business that we teach to build here on this channel. So recently I was asked a question by a subscriber, like one of you, which by the way, if you're not subscribed, do. But anyway, this person was subscribed and she asked me, what do you do when you're in the in-between? What do you do when you're in a situation where you want to grow your online business? That's where your passion is, and yet you can't because of this other obligation. And it could be the obligation is the day job that you currently have that takes up a lot of your time. It could be family obligations, could be kids, could be a spouse. Any number of things that keep you from being able to kind of fully go all in. This is what I did for years before I was able to leave my 9-to-5 and go all in with my online business. So I can speak to the tension there. And if this is what you're feeling, let me just tell you, this is absolutely normal and it's par for the course. The reason why everybody doesn't do this is because it's not easy. You actually have to kind of get out of the comfort zone of the job, the paycheck, the W-2, the security that comes with that. And you have to decide that you want something more and you have to go for it. Let me just say to this person who asked this question and to you, congrats. Like, to have that kind of passion in life, to have that kind of audacity to want something more says a lot about you, says a lot about your character. I applaud you for that. You're my kind of people. So the question becomes, what do you do in that situation? How do you manage that? I can tell you there are a few things that I did that made this work for me pretty well and got me through that phase till I could go out on my own. The first thing is you got to work. And what I mean is you gotta do stuff. You got to execute on your plans. There is no amount of learning and watching videos and reading books on how to grow an online business that's going to do it for you. You have to put in the work and decide when you're going to build your first course, when you're going to make content, and then you actually have to execute on those plans. The trick becomes you have this whole life outside of this business that is competing for you. That's where you've got to make sacrifices, and that's where this separates people who want it badly from people who just kind of hint around at it or don't really want it that badly but think they do. So the way this worked for me was I had a full-time job working as an executive director at a church, a multi-site church, as a highly stressful, lots of kind of responsibilities in this position, and it took up a lot of my time. So what I did is I just woke up earlier, and from 6 in the morning to 8:30, I worked on my business. And it was in those 2.5 hours every day, 5 days a week, that my first business was built, Preaching Donkey. That's where I built my first course as a flagship course. I went on to sell that for $400 a piece, and that course made $25,000 very quickly. Went on to make more in residuals and evergreen as a part of my sales funnel. And that was the first step to getting me out of my job and into full-time online business. But what it took was me deciding sleep is not as important as working on this business. And this is when I had 3 kids and a wife and a full-time job. So I kind of don't understand when people will say, I just don't have the time. I get that everybody's busy, but if you really want this, then you'll make the time. And for me, that meant early in the morning. Maybe for you, that means late at night. Whatever it is, you've got to make that sacrifice and do it. The second thing that's really helpful is now that you've decided that you're going to do it, you've blocked out the time to do the work, you have to do the right things. You need a plan. I suggest get the super simple guide that I talked about at the beginning of this video because it will walk you through exactly what to do, watch what we do on this channel, and execute a plan, a content plan, a good email marketing strategy, build out your first course, start offering coaching, do all the right things, not just busy work. I think sometimes people, when they get into online business, they'll say, okay, if I'm gonna build an online business, that means I've gotta blow up on every social media platform. I've gotta be everywhere. I've gotta be on Instagram, gotta be on YouTube, gotta be on Facebook, gotta be on TikTok, gotta be everywhere, because if I'm not everywhere, I might get missed. And they are busy doing a lot of stuff, but there is no cohesive plan, and they're not actually building a business. They're just kind of building what's called vanity metrics. Oh, look, I got 100,000 views and 20,000 likes on YouTube. Well, great, that's awesome. But is that content actually generating leads, pulling people over to your email list, taking them through your nurture sequence, and selling them your very valuable, helpful course? That's how you stay in business. So really what this comes down to is a very practical thing that nobody wants to say out loud, nobody wants to talk about, but I will, because it's worth repeating and it's worth saying loudly and clearly. Do the things that put money in your pocket, period. Now, I don't mean do things that you hate because you make money. That's the thing we're trying to escape, okay? We don't want that. But when it comes to your online business, when you're trying to leave your job and do this full time, there's a very practical equation. This business has to make as much or more than your full-time job in order for it to be viable for you to jump out on your own and make hay out of this. And what that means is that you have to get very strategic about what you do, how you spend your time, and only do the things that are gonna result in growing an audience of people that turn into customers and put money in your pocket. Once you've done that, it just becomes a math problem. If you look at how much money you make in your full-time job, let's say it's $60,000. Just pull that number out of thin air. $60,000 is $5,000 a month. Well, now you have a target. Your online business needs to get to $5,000 a month as fast as you can. $5,000 a month consistently. Get there as quick as you can. So make it your life's passion to take the subject that you're building the online business around and learning how to grow it, make that your life's passion to do that well and get that to $5,000. Because once it's at $5,000 a month, if that's what you make, you can go out on your own. And what happens is, once you go out on your own, the business grows much quicker. At least this happened for me. My business wasn't making anywhere near what I made in my full-time job. It was actually making substantially less. However, I knew that if I went out on my own and I focused full-time energy, not just 6 to 8:30 in the morning, but full-time energy on growing this business, doing the right things, it would grow. And it did. It doubled and then tripled and then quadrupled and then quintupled and then whatever 6 is and then 7. It just went on and on and on. And now it's doing very, very well, and it dwarfs any job I ever had in terms of the income. But that is because I focused and still focus on the things that grow the business, and to put it more crassly, the things that put money in my pocket, because it takes money to stay in business. I like the way Donald Miller puts it in his book, Marketing Made Simple. Making money may not be the reason you're in business, but it's gonna be the reason why you stay in business. Like, you have to make money unless this is just a hobby. If you're independently wealthy and this is a hobby, awesome, go for it. For the vast majority of people, that is not the case. You need this to replace your income, so you need to focus on the things that grow your income. Now, if all that stuff is like confusing or doesn't make sense, I wanna help you with it. So the first step is to download the guide that will walk you through how this works. The second way is to check out this playlist where I'm gonna talk about how to start your business. And there's some really good videos in here, some good details. So click right there in that playlist. I'll see you in there. Get the guide at lanesebring.com/supersimple, and I'll see you in the next video.